cancer awareness. But with me today will be a beneficiary and then a doctor to talk about child cancer. Well, the child cancer color is yellow. Breast cancer is pink. Child cancer is yellow, which was actually celebrated in September. But you all know that this year Royal Ladies is celebrating 30 years. And as part of 30 years celebration, we decided to undertake a child cancer project, which yesterday we were at Kolebu Teaching Hospital. And that is why I said my week was fulfilling, because I did what I had planned in the last 2 years to do. But it was very challenging and very, very emotional to me as a mother, because I was at the oncology department or oncology unit at the pediatric block yesterday to visit children with cancer. Oh my God. If there's anything I could have done, I'm telling you, I would have done it yesterday. When I got home, I was crying, I was emotional. I said, God, what have these children done? But we will go to Kolebu Teaching Hospital and show you pictures of donations we did yesterday, and then we will come back. We'll have pictures from Kolebu Teaching Hospital. So this is a presentation we did as part of the celebration of Royal Ladies 30 years. We went to Kolebu and presented a check of 100,000 Ghana cedis. So this is a check from Royal Ladies to the pediatric oncology unit at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, the children's block. With me are some of the doctors from there, and then some of my ladies, Royal Ladies. We donated beds, wheelchairs, nose masks, gowns, sanitizers, mattresses, children's Bible, name them, cabinets, anything we could get. So these are boxes and boxes and boxes of sanitizers, nose masks, and then we also had a party for the children and the mothers, where we distributed jollof rice, we gave them water, we gave them drinks, and we gave them biscuits, and I prayed for them. When I finished, the truth is that my soul was happy. But it was an emotional event yesterday. Emotional event. And aside the 100,000 we gave to the unit, I also gave to every mother whose child was on, and those whose children were in the daycare. They come and they go. I gave to every mother an envelope. To every mother an envelope. I want to use this opportunity to say a very big thank you to all my Royal Ladies who contributed towards our going to Kolebu Teaching Hospital yesterday, and then to our sponsors, those outside Royal Ladies, and some of our members who contributed, Apostle General. We want to say a very big thank you. And I want to say, God bless you for everybody that was a part, for all our tribal groups, the Fanti group, the Gan Adangbe group, the Gan group, those who contributed towards the child cancer project yesterday. I want to say a very big thank you to you and God bless you. May Mother Ghana bless you and bless you and bless you. On behalf of the mothers and the children we met yesterday, I say a big thank you. May child cancer be far away from us.
Amen.
May breast cancer be far away from us.
In the name of Jesus.
May any form of cancer be far away from us.
Amen.
I mean, it was a sight yesterday. Some of my women were crying, some of the women were crying. But I know there's hope. During my I don't know which of my birthdays, I was at the children's block at the Korle Bu Teaching Hospital to do a donation. And there was one little boy with kidney, problem. And it was so overwhelming. I don't know whether the doctors had given up on him and the mother was crying. I mean, it was a sight. So after I had given, this is the administration block, this is the CEO of Korle Bu Teaching Hospital, some of the doctors from Korle Bu Teaching Hospital and from the children's department. So after I had given my donation and I had served my food, I decided to pray for them. That Friday we also had an all night. So I invited the boy and invited the mother. Apostle General prayed for the boy. Today, Parkwesi is perfectly healed from kidney issues. Parkwesi is done with university. Parkwesi is done with national service. Today, Parkwesi is working as part of Royal House Chapel and as part of Watchtower Ministry. So I believe so much that our going to Korle Bu Teaching Hospital yesterday will bring healing to the patients. I mean, it's not money, physical money alone. It's not the physical food alone. But I believe that we took healing to the place. And I want to say a very big thank you to all the doctors who are playing a big role at the oncology department at Korle Bu Teaching Hospital. I mean, one of the mothers came to me, no, two of the mothers actually came to me and said that she say a very big thank you to one of the doctors, and that anytime they need money for medication, this doctor out of her little money will give them money to buy medication. And oh my God. And my heart was full of praise to that doctor. God bless you. God bless you. If we are done, so that is me praying for the children. That is me giving envelopes, children's Bible and food. I think, thank you, media team, thank you. I have one of the mothers here today with me, and she's going to tell us a story. Unfortunately, she doesn't speak English. I would speak Twi with her. She would answer in Twi, but I would do the interpretation. Unless my assistant hosts, co-hosts, will be able to do interpretation for us.
Yes.
For the benefit of family life and television and media today, I will call her Equia, which is my name. I was born on Wednesday, so I will call her Equia. Equia Akwaba. Miana Mefra Equia. Equia Akwaba. What to say? me pacho kasa den kakra ma me bibia boko the way I nra me real ho ye no menim se saa na wo nso so menim da wo te se wo ba na nya cancer but akwaba me pacho we ye den na wo hunu se wo ba no e wo cancer DNA ye na ma wo they call hospital me e can say we nya cancer. So what I'm asking her, at what point did she know her child had cancer? What did she see that she rushed to the hospital and finally she was diagnosed with cancer? Ekuya.
It was to be the mommy who say, Mebano, Enya cancer. One day, Binayada, I dear Betchy, Sunday, my pass. And I will say, on who made so be a winya code. See, I dear China, Monsieur, may share at the crack, Ama, on who miss a mission in Rimswa. Be anywhere, just a winya code.
Okay, so if I can come in. She's saying first she wants to express her appreciation to Mama Rita and Royal Ladies for coming over to show support. The first signs are that she saw her child with some level of cold. It was persistent, it was ongoing, it was disturbing. Then she got worried as a mother.
See,
Charlie, you are good though.
Oh, mommy.
You have to start interpreting Apostle General.
See, and you may not be sure when you may shine a crack. I dear Chanam Dinico hospital. Into that time, not etching when you're 9 months.
9 months.
So the boy was barely 9 months.
Wow.
She decided to observe for some time, and if it improves, she knows that it's better.
And cranny diagron, and you made me find it to me. So now I say, Muja Phoebe, if you win him ever. And I'm saying, now crown for Bibia. Ancient in there, then I Tiadia China, me didn't call Capus Hospital in Tabeto. Till me didn't call an almost share now 7 months.
7 months.
And Tim Shana, I did be sick, never in chance to say, rashes be a sea one.
So, whilst playing with the kids after a few days, she noticed that some droplets of blood was from the child's nose. It had persisted for some days. She got worried, then takes the child to the hospital for immediate attention.
See, Doctor Nana, Mojaning in a train or say, Obekwa Quaye, I wouldn't be caught theatre now. I could see Adiana, Abesha when you've been see, okay, Matty. Tell me my days been a poor fee. It's not on money, drew be a money fame, you winning. See, Quaye, nature or say, Minkwana. When Quaye, no more the quala, but buy a moon seven or back country me. Timmy, 2 weeks time, don't fear me say, Mama, the cry, a hat, a cry now. I just have didn't call Colebu. I'm saying, hey, now me call with a minimum. Hey,
Colebu, dear, what's a partner with your marshal? Baby, I will free, I will be called Colebu, Befaka, Colebu. What I'm saying is that as for Colebu, for those of you who are listening to us through media and then outside Ghana, Colebu is our biggest teaching hospital, you know, here in Ghana. And for the typical Ghanaian, when you are referred to Colebu Teaching Hospital, it means that your case is beyond, either it's beyond repairs or, you know, very, very serious case. And this is a woman who comes from outside Accra. So to be referred to Colebu entails a lot.
So the doctor attends to her and the child. The droplets ceased. They ran some tests in the lab, took samples from the child's nostrils, and then discovered there was something more than they feared. So they referred the child and the mother to the Colebu Teaching Hospital.
See, okay, and I'm saying, now doctor, I made me to me who been a ya.
Hey, Colebu. Please say that side.
So she referred to the doctor and says, what is good about me? That's direct translation. But she referred to economic situation.
That's right.
That even transportation is a problem for me.
Yeah.
How do I now come to seek medical attention at the biggest hospital in Ghana?
See, I want your car say, yeah, me real hold that day. They say, oh, qua fiscal, never day is scar.
Hey.
And I'm say, hey, it's me dear cranny be few one cassa, a coffee in dear. I'm a round who say me be coffee, me to me soon that some dear cranny pot to say, oh, take me quite a me friend, never pan a me cash friend. And was say, and yan medi.
Amen.
Yamina ye bibi and
Amen.
And was a sad end there. Now don't forbid a man called G loan, so the because to sad the end, young farm a cranny ember. Yamia name so, ye buy your doctors for Kolebu doctors, Yamin Shroud.
Amen.
Or man farm a banana and two full.
She's expressing appreciation to Kolebu doctors. Why? Because when she was referred to come to Kolebu, she spoke to the father of the child. A loan that they had gone for to support the education, they decided to bring it to Kolebu because the doctor had warned that going to Kolebu will mean a lot of money. When she gets here, the doctors at the department were extremely helpful and warm to her.
See, your buyer so almost my baby, almost a G to no almost I shall say, almost a some year labs to say, dear, your whole doctors for the kind. Yes, Anna. 10 days, been 2 weeks, your major agency. Near the scan in the lab, dear, and no credit scan of an a drew no crampo. Teacher, scanning in I drew Nagasan, not Sikanasa.
So the labs and tests alone consumed every money they had on them. By the time they were getting to the point of medication, they had run out of every CD.
It's you know, a drew, so not adding, say a benny scan at 20. Never pay no free fee, no more de crabba. See, the body and to do no more dear man. Yammy and him no more money, drove our communion and who say, dear, Yammy Bay. See, Kakanka crasa and who so what dear na, and who one even say, dear, a kufu. Nana, Obesha said, dear, I can't kitwa, one new she. I was so bed, dear, and home mayor. I just say, Mabel bought a dear be the share, the scene as say. No one whom you are funny, no.
The depressing part, she says they had run out of all cash. Now they had to depend on the benevolence of friends and family to support with the purchasing of initial medications that were given. For her, she was more depressed about the fact that even for the child to breathe was difficult because she needed to put things under the teeth of the child to support the little oxygen that to go in. That was a very devastating thing for her as a mother, for seeing such an innocent child go through such pain.
See, man, I now themselves. Miami who say, they say they are watching air back. See, a J came on to do, baby. No, say, baby, I do need you. You quiet operation, Kakrabi Akam. See, a quiet.
So, around this time, they had broken the news to her that it was cancer and it had improved at some point with the medications, but the doctors now had recommended they had to go through chemotherapy.
See, you're quiet now. A do operation and Gasambo Sikani baby, because be a woffy beer, you're turning in a
one my
almost
30. When I toss me,
she has 3 kids. This is the second one. They have sold all their belongings that they ever had as man and woman to support the chemotherapy process. Now they get to the point where they had to go through surgery and she had absolutely nothing to support that.
See, and the doctors for them me. I'm a to me quiet. You're quiet by and saying, my chemo be to us. Said the bear, a qua and baby. And so the Anyame pay and way into Yentin Yamiasi, a quiet now.
So after the surgery, they placed the child back on some series of chemotherapy, hoping that every trace would have been perfectly dealt with. Unfortunately, after some months, it resurfaced again.
We came when we found this we were 2022.
Okay.
My year quiet read casting Quebec radiotherapy. But now ebi ni ho bi.
Sika ni bi ni
ho. Ti me de ne ko fie na ntimi amfa na amba 1 month time. Ti esan ko ba biem.
So chemo had been done. And they were supposed to come
before
back
you
for
okay, you finish this.
They were supposed to come back for radiotherapy to totally annihilate whatever was there. Unfortunately, there was no cash to even transport them back to Accra, and then this surfaced once again.
So please, if you are listening to us, I want you to appreciate a queer story. This needs money. It needs financial support. The child went through chemo, went through surgery, came back to do chemo again, and was supposed to complete it with radiotherapy. By the time it was time for radiotherapy, she had no money. So she had to go back with the child. Unfortunately, because she didn't do the radiotherapy, it's like the child didn't properly heal, and the cancer certainly came back. Wow.
See, we can I see about 3 times.
3 times.
Because Sikani been new ho. It's so ne draw masia sister every 2 weeks by 5,000.
5,000. Tiwana wow.
And we think of the Canada, me doctors for us in Omoana. Is your motor mommy?
Wow.
Is your papa so say, only Yaria a qua nursing a bintino. Won't see me find Nebula or one was assisting in a share a crown. Say no, one share Kalani beam.
Oh.
It's your mother is a meeting me poor mechi. Who friends was only him say, me banner Yaria no air Yaria is signed to no. Me didn't coffee out be happen to me, Mammy Banniche.
Wow.
Because of the recurrence.
Let her finish her story.
Because of them, I know what I said. Oh, my name Obia Banche. And that's a me banner crowd that opens me out home here. Just you will soon have the me banner. As I wait to me at home. Say, me name dear. My ye be Sikan you. Sikan you. And now cry, yeah, by cry. So shall cry, no, you cry. And you cut in, I said you with him, overly different with him. Because of this skin you. Oh, Miss, I say, back query, you turn up in the beer. Sikan you are messing the alcohol. To mess, and for so woman mobile. No, when Jimmy Bay, meaning the cray by any dachi. Tell mom, me. Any gun and penny for you now. They gonna abandon. We are seeing you now. We have Muhammad, I mean, to mean Jimmy Bay.
Please do the interpretation.
See
why I said I was emotional yesterday.
This quite depressing.
I mean, I was happy. I was able to go there and do a presentation I have planned in the last 2 years. But at the end of the day, I left very sad and I left very emotional.
So the family is not getting any close because after the 3rd attempt, everybody has done what they think they can do. Even the support from the family is not coming. No one is answering calls, nobody's getting close because everybody knows that it's all about spending money, and they are equally tired spending so much, and this keeps resurfacing as we speak. They are supposed to go back for more medication.
They are supposed to go back for radiotherapy.
More radiotherapy, and yet there is no support. She is calling on all listeners, all viewers, all philanthropic entities, associations, government entities, churches, bodies who can extend a hand to help her save the life of her little boy, who is currently in studio, and it's tough. It's tough.
I want all meaningful Ghanaians, all Royal House Chapel members, all royal ladies. Yesterday I came back told the Apostle General what I saw at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, the oncology unit at the pediatric department. And honestly, his heart was so touched. So he's decided that this year, 26th December, normally we go around orphanages in Ghana. But I think this year we would have to disappoint the orphanages a bit. We want to go to Kolebu Teaching Hospital, not just to the oncology department, but the whole children's block, and help them. Innocent lives, precious lives. These are children who have committed no sin. Sometimes we say these things are a lifestyle, disease. What kind of lifestyle have these children, from 9 months? My darling, you need to help us help these children. For all we know, one of these children will be a president of Ghana, a first lady of Ghana, the next governor of Bank of Ghana, the minister of finance, an engineer. We may never know. I have seen it before. I saw Pakwesi on the hospital bed. I saw it. And today, I see Pakwesi. And anytime I see Pakwesi, I feel so fulfilled that the child has been healed from kidney issues. I believe that a queer's child will be healed from cancer. We will go on a short commercial break and we'll be back.
Get ready for the most epic time of worship, music, and inspiration. Join us for Teamspiration, the ultimate gospel teens urban concert on the 23rd of November 2024. The call, 1 Samuel 3 verse 9. Experience the power of faith, hope, and love through electrifying performances by Pastor Kofi, Pastor Pa, Japhet Ajete, Sonia Biekro, Lil Zig, Worship in Motion, Crazy for Christ, Markadesh Dance Group. Be inspired by real life testimonies, motivational speakers, and uplifting messages that will ignite your passion for God and purpose. It's happening live at the Royal House Chapel Ahimfie Auditorium. Don't miss this life-changing event. Register now and be a part of a movement that's redefining what it means to be a teen of faith. Mark your calendars. The countdown begins. Inspiration! Rise up, shine on, secure your spots today.
Pink Walk is here again, and we are inviting you to something bigger and better. Last year, we screened 154 women, and 7 were identified with lumps. Proof that early detection saves lives. This year, we are turning it up a notch with the Royal Ladies 30th Anniversary Edition. Under the theme, Detect, Defeat, Defend. We are declaring it loud and clear. No woman among us will fall victim to breast cancer. Join us on Saturday, 16th November 2024 at Royal House Chapel International, Ahimfie for a full day of wellness, fun, and empowerment. Starting at 7 a.m., it's more than just a breast cancer screening. It's a holistic wellness experience, and it's absolutely free. You will receive vital health screening, including breast cancer examinations, eye and dental checks, blood pressure, blood sugar, and BMI tests. Plus, you will have the opportunity to take part in health talks and counseling sessions with expert professionals, ensuring you leave not only refreshed but informed about your health. And that's not all. It's a day of aerobics and exciting games like sack races and penalty shootouts with plenty to eat and drink. We'll cap it all off with an after-party jam to celebrate life and 3 decades of God's goodness. Let's detect, defeat, and defend against breast cancer together. Partners for this impactful event include Van J Eye Care, Impact Medical and Diagnostic Center, and Total House Clinic. Royal ladies, arise and shine.
Welcome back to Family Life with Mama Rita. If you are just joining us today, we are talking about child cancer. The whole of the month of October, we were talking about breast cancer. My darling, if you didn't go to check, October is over. You can still go and check, except we are going to pay in full. But today is not about breast cancer, but today we are talking about child cancer. Yesterday, the women of Royal House Chapel, as part of our 30th anniversary celebration, we've been celebrating 30 years since the beginning of the year. And yesterday, we decided to go to the oncology department, the oncology unit at the pediatric department at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, where we did a presentation of 100,000 Ghana cedis, served them food, drinks, water, biscuits, and then gave some items, beds, named them. And a doctor from the oncology unit is here with us today. She is Dr. Ernestina Shandoff. Dr. Ernestina Shandoff is a pediatric consultant, oncologist from the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. Dr. Ernestina, you are welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for receiving us yesterday at your department, at your unit.
To be honest, we are the ones who are full of praise because it's, as I said, it's an answered prayer.
Wow.
And your presence, your prayers, all the donations, they make a big difference. Before you came, we were scratching our heads to see where we are getting money from to help patients, because patients needed treatment, patients needed investigations, and we didn't have money.
Wow.
We didn't have money. We've done donations, we've done contributions, but we run thin. We cannot.
You do contributions?
Yes, sometimes we sort of.
As doctors?
We have to, because if a child needs blood, you cannot watch the child to go. Wow. When you know the child needs blood or needs something, medications, you have to just help. You cannot close your eyes to a child. So it's been tough, and your coming has been so instrumental.
Wow.
And God richly bless you.
Amen.
We really appreciate all that you did for the children.
Wow.
And it made a big difference. Just praying for them alone made a big difference. All the money, all the items you donated, it's going to impact greatly. The disinfectants, the beds, the Bibles. Mama Rita,
wow.
Royal ladies, we thank you so much. God richly bless you.
And the food.
And the food.
The
Some
one that
people
made
haven't
me
even
cry
eaten.
was the food. The mothers queuing.
Yes.
Initially, we were told that we're coming to serve 100, mothers and children inclusive. Then I said, no, let's add 20 to it for the medical staff. Now we got there, 120 got finished. I had to let them quickly prepare food. We prepared, Reverend Chief Ape, we prepared extra 80 And yesterday you should see a queue. Now others came and said they were living in the hostels.
Oh.
They too, they needed food. When I came to tell Apostle General, he said, this Christmas, it must be for them. I mean, I think Christmas will have to be serving about 500, children and mothers.
Wow.
God bless you so much. God bless you so much.
There was one small girl, we'll talk about her when we are done. She came to me and said, Mommy Adrienne, give me food. I said, where's your mother? She said, my mother has gone home. I believe that the mother has other kids and, has to go and take care of the children. She needs to go and look for money. After the food, this child came back and said, Mommy Adrienne, one face he can't come.
Oh.
And for me, the confidence. And I'm sure she's asking the money for her mother. Because she saw me give to the other mothers. But because her mother was not there, I didn't leave any money. And my heart was so touched. So I'll describe the child to you when we are done. If you'll be able to remember the child, you send her mother money for me. Wow.
God bless you so much. And we really, really, really appreciate all that you have done. And a care story is a story of many mothers, many fathers.
Okay.
It's become one too many.
Wow.
Okay, childhood cancer is it's curable.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
it's curable.
It's actually curable. 80% of them are
Okay.
curable. But unfortunately, in our parts of the world, financial constraint played a major role in people not being able to come early, or when starting they can't finish because it's a lot of money and you don't have that money sitting in the house. So it becomes very, very difficult for them to complete the treatment. And with cancer treatment, unfortunately, it doesn't give you the luxury of time.
Wow.
Cancer would move on. It will not say, oh, let's wait and get money for me to be cured. It would move on. So the money, when it's needed, it's actually needed now. So it's really very, very important. With childhood cancer, as you rightly said, it's not due to lifestyle changes of the child. It's not something the parents did or the child did or anything like that. Unlike maybe, let's say, if you drink a lot of cigarettes, you can get throat cancer, or if you drink a lot of alcohol, you can get liver cancer. Childhood cancers are not like that. Usually, every child is developing.
Okay.
We were all babies before we finally grew. So our body was dividing, multiplying to make us big and grow. So sometimes in nature, everything is organized, but sometimes in nature, mistakes happen. So once that mistakes happens, then cancer comes in children.
Wow.
So children, as you saw on our ward, we have children as young as day 1 getting cancer. And it can happen anywhere: brain, blood, bone, the swellings on the face, the eye, the stomach, the legs, the hands. It happens anywhere the mistake happened. But when you get it early and you present early, the likelihood of cure is very high.
Okay.
And the kind of treatment you would need is much lower than when it's more advanced. So when it's more advanced, it becomes more expensive and the outcomes may not be so good. So the early presentation is very, very, very important. Unfortunately, most childhood cancers, they are not screened like breast cancer, except one of them. That's the cancer of the eye. That one, you just see a whitish spot. It's not painful, nothing. Just a whitish spot in the eye could be a sign of a cancer, which is very curable. We call the retinoblastoma.
Okay.
Or sometimes you see that the eye is looking in different directions. That could also be an early warning sign. Okay, when it starts swelling and protruding, it's usually a late sign, and most of the time we can save the life, but we may not be able to save the eye.
Okay.
Okay, so it's very important. The earlier we come, the better.
We will talk about the signs and symptoms. But I know this Christmas, I'm not saying we shouldn't go to the orphanages. A lot of us go to the orphanages, Christmas after Christmas, give them rice, oil, money, to all meaningful Ghanaians, to the churches, to organizations, to individuals who want in any form, give back to society. Please, I think we've made a lot of noise about the orphanages. Now, let's look at the oncology unit at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. I hear they also have the oncology department at Okomfuanochi Teaching Hospital. My darling, if you see a queer and you hear a queer story, you can tell that she has no money. I believe that if she had money to have done the radiotherapy, maybe she wouldn't be back at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. Please, this Christmas, as we celebrate Christmas with our families, as we chew our chicken, eat our jollof rice, take our drinks, wear our Christmas shoes and our Christmas dresses, let's show love to children with cancer. Honestly, my life yesterday was I had a different perspective to life yesterday. I go around a lot donating. We help people a lot as a church. We pay the school fees of people. But yesterday, I knew the one department we need to look at is the oncology unit at the pediatric department at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital. If you are Kumasi, Sunyani, the Bono, district, you can look at the Okomfuanochi Hospital. Dr. Tina, what are the symptoms? How do we know that this child, what should a parent do? What are some of the signs to look out for? We can tell when it comes to breast cancer that, we are taught every morning or once a month, do the check, self-examination, October, go for breast screening, we go for mammogram, all that. For the children, what are the signs and the symptoms?
So for the children, unfortunately, there are no screening tools. And most of the signs and symptoms, they resemble other diseases.
Wow.
So it's very, very important that whenever you see any sign that is persistent, especially more than 2 weeks, you need to think of cancer. And this, I'm talking to both the public and also us, the healthcare workers. Because sometimes a person is presenting with same symptoms over and over again.
Wow.
And we don't suspect childhood cancer. So it's very important we suspect. So for children, we have an acronym that helps people to remember. We call the SILUAN. It's a Saint SILUAN.
SILUAN.
Yes, SILUAN. So it is an
SILUAN. Oh, okay.
AN. So S means seek early help.
Seek early help.
Symptoms. Do not wait at home. If there is a child who is having a temperature for more than 2 weeks, you've done antimalarials, you've done antibiotics, it's not going. Seek early help, because that fever or that temperature could be an early sign of blood cancer. Then the I stands for eye signs. So any spot in the eye, it's an early warning sign. If the child is having eyes that look in different directions, it's an early warning sign. By the time the eye is red or discharging, it's a bit too late. We can still save the life, but we may not be able to save the eye. So it's very important to present early. Then for L is for any lumps or swellings anywhere. So it can happen in the jaw, in the nose, in the stomach, anywhere you see any lumps. And usually for children, when the swelling starts, they are not painful. Cancer swellings usually are not painful. So once you see a swelling in a child, the child may not complain, may be running up and down, but it's a cause of alarm, and you should investigate. You shouldn't leave the child until it grows very big. And then the A is aches and pains. Okay, children should not be having bone pain they should not be having aches and pains because they are young children. Okay, if it's an elderly person, maybe arthritis or something like that. But for young children, they usually do not get those things. Whenever they have bone pain, one of the it's a sign of one of the cancers that we call leukemia, which is a blood cancer, or neuroblastoma. Okay. So it's very important that if a child is complaining of bone pain, do not ignore. Okay, and also cancers of the bone usually start with severe bone pain, which is worse at night.
Wow, worse than
at night.
Wow.
And sometimes parents may ignore or think, oh, you went to play football, so that is it. But if it's persistent, you need to seek early care. Then we have the N, and the N stands for neurological signs. So children get brain tumors, and in children, the brain tumors are usually not like the adult ones. They come primarily from the brain. We have two different types of brain tumors. Those that are spread from another cancer somewhere, that is like it has spread to the brain. But in children, you have brain tumors originating from the brain.
Wow.
And when it's originating from the brain, it's usually highly curable, unlike when it's spread from another cancer to the brain. So in children, if they are complaining of persistent headaches, it's a cause of alarm. If they have behavioral changes, a quiet child suddenly becomes very, yes, you should be worried. Or even change in handwriting.
Wow.
One of the early signs of brain tumors, or visual changes, or changes in the way the person walks. So all these things are subtle signs that could tell you that there is something wrong. Wow. Just yesterday, we had one little girl who went to school and then suddenly felt uneasy. Her handwriting changed, and then they rushed her. So she was rushed straight from school. She's in secondary school, rushed straight from school to the emergency room. We did the scans. It was a brain tumor.
Oh my
So
God.
it's very important that we do not take things lightly, especially in children, because the signs and symptoms are very, very general, and you may just gloss over them. So once you have any of these signs or any persistent symptoms, come to the hospital as soon as possible.
Thank you. So, Dr. Tina, you were talking about seeing signs like handwriting, like a child that is playful all of a sudden. In the queer story, it started when the child was 9 months. And you were saying some people a day old. How would you be able, as a parent, to be able to see that this could be a sign?
So Ekua did very, very well,
Okay.
and I must commend Ekua for that.
Okay.
Because someone would have said, oh, it's just a cold.
Just a cold.
Oh, my child is not breathing. He's had kata for a long time. Let me just watch and see. Let me do drops and see. But Ekua realized that this cold, it has kept long, and the breathing is funny. And she decided to seek care, and then this was found. So any symptom you don't understand, don't sit at home. Do not sit at home. Do not just ignore it just because it's just a cold, it's just a fever, or the child is just losing weight. It's not normal. So you need to make sure that you come for early care. And for now, for childhood cancers, we have just two major centers, and that's Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Komfanochi Teaching Hospital. However, we are also building capacity in Ridge Regional Hospital, and hopefully Tamale as well once we start training someone there. But the knowledge is still not out there, and that's why we keep on saying that any symptom you are not convinced about, as a healthcare worker, as a parent, as a neighbor, please just let the person be referred as soon as possible. With pediatric oncology, you can come to us directly.
Oh, okay.
So we have people who just call. I have
You don't need to be referred.
You don't need to be referred. Just
I like
come
that.
And then let us see. Okay, so don't say, oh, and even if you are in a private primary care facility, and you feel like these symptoms have been there for long and you've been treating it for long, you have every right to ask for a referral and it to be granted to you, or just come directly to pediatric oncology that this thing has been going on for this number of months or weeks and I'm not seeing an end to it, and then we'll see the child.
Please, you heard Dr. Ernestina so well. Don't wait too long. Child cancer is curable. If there's money, the percentage of cure is about 80%. I believe that it could even go higher if everybody decides to help them. Currently, it is only Okomfo Anoche Hospital and Kolebu Teaching Hospital, and Rage Hospital is trying, to raise that department. But for now, the main ones are Okomfo Anoche Hospital in Kumasi of the Ashanti region, and then Kolebu Teaching Hospital in Accra. So you see why we need to help these units and these departments. The whole of Ghana, we have to, with Rage now starting to set up and Tamale now starting to set up. So please, let every meaningful Ghanaian, let's come together. Let's help Kolebu Teaching Hospital. Let's help Okomfo Anoche Teaching Hospital. Whilst Dr. Tina is here, if you have questions, please send your questions and we would help you. She would help answer these questions. And like she said, please, any sign, you don't need referral to go to the pediatric oncology department. Please, any sign, if you are in a private hospital, you've gone there once, you've gone there twice, ask for referral and find your way to Kolebu Teaching Hospital or to Okomfo Anoche Teaching Hospital. I believe if people rise up like Royal Ladies did yesterday, there should be no problem with money and, whatever it takes to make sure that your child is healed. Is there an age where the child is at risk, or when it comes to child cancer, it doesn't matter the age?
Yeah, so for childhood cancers, it affects from birth up to 19 years old. So any age of children can be affected by cancer. And it doesn't depend on where you come from, because childhood cancer is worldwide. US, UK, China, India, wherever we have childhood cancers. But the awareness is better in the developed countries, so they come very, very early. Our awareness is not so good, so most of the time we attribute it to other things before we finally come to the hospital. But there is no age cutoff. Any child can be affected, and it's not a fault of the child or the parent. And the stigma associated with childhood cancer is also not helpful. So as individuals, let's be kind to parents and patients with cancer, because cancer is not contagious like COVID. Otherwise, you won't see us dressed in normal clothes in the hospital.
So please, it's not contagious. I don't know how I can speak this in many languages. Somebody with child cancer cannot pass on the cancer to somebody else. So please, let's stop the stigma.
Because a lot of times, sometimes it's the stigma that doesn't make parents come to the hospital. And sometimes once the family members or neighbors or friends hear that, oh, your child has cancer, as in a QS case, so please and please and please, cancer is not contagious. So please help out if you have someone who needs your help and is suffering from childhood cancer. And as a QS fought on very leukemias or blood cancers, you need medications or transplant, which we are not to know what spread. So when the parents come, we need to do a lot of scans to know where exactly the cancer is, how far has it spread, what type it is. And this costs a lot of money. Sometimes when they come, just with the basic investigation, they may spend like 5,000 Ghana cedis. 5,000 for just the basic scans, making sure that your liver is fine, your kidney is fine, your blood levels are fine, making sure you know the type of cancer, where it has spread. Just that can cost like 5,000 Ghana.
So it means that even the 100,000 we brought is small.
It makes a big difference.
You
may think it is small, but it makes a big difference. Somebody cannot get medications 2,000, 3,000, and all those monies, every little drop counts. Because childhood cancer is it's affecting our future generation. We can't say we will sit unconcerned. You don't know who that child is.
That's right.
We don't know if he is the next president. We don't know. So we need to make sure we protect our future, because that is our future. If we are thinking of making Ghana great and we do not invest in our children, it's going to be very disastrous. So we really need to protect the next generation. And it is money, a lot of money.
So, Dr. Tina, roughly, you said the minimum takes 6 months. Looking at 6 months, cure, roughly, how much are we looking at to spend within 6 months?
So let me give an example.
Okay.
Like, let's say the cheapest, in quotes, cancer that can be treated, especially if it's an early stage, is the eye cancers.
The eye
And
cancers.
the kidney cancers. Okay. Once you come early, the treatment is quite relatively cheaper.
Okay.
So for eye cancers, you may spend, like, let's say, maybe 20,000 to 30,000.
20,000, that's the cheapest.
That's the cheapest.
Wow.
For the kidney cancers.
And this is minus the test and all that.
So this is everything.
Everything.
Plus the test
Okay.
and everything. Maybe like 20, 30,000.
So
And
you
that
see,
is every
if you
stage.
give to the oncology department, you can save one child. If you give 20,000 or even 10,000 or even 5,000, it can go a long way to help a child with cancer.
Yeah. So yes. So that's like one of the cheapest ones.
Wow.
Another one is the cancer of the kidney, which is in developed countries 90% curable, because even 95%.
Okay.
Almost every child gets cured because they find it early.
Okay.
Okay. And once it's early, usually you may spend like maybe 30,000.
Wow.
But once it's late, you need to add radiotherapy, which will take another 20,000. So that amount of 20,000 will become 40,000.
40,000.
50,000. So the early presentation is very important. And to make sure that we treat and treat